Well, hello everyone once again. Welcome back to Vulcan again. As we try and survive once more. Last time we were here, it didn't go so well. I burnt up my auto lathe, and that was basically GG. So we're gonna try again. I'm not giving up just yet. So the key here is to start moving quickly. So we're going to get right to it. Grab some supplies. So what we want to do here is we want to build a small area where we can set up our stuff that is not going to kill us. Or let us burn everything to the ground. So it is becoming nighttime already, which is good. I did change my start location as well, just because, you know, I figured since we were restarting, might as well check out one of the other potential start areas. Where do I want to put my stuff? Honestly... yeah, right here, looks good. So we're going to start off with fairly basic little setup. And the priority here is twofold. So in reading the comments on the first episode I posted, I learned a few things about what I should prioritize. And one of those things that I need to prioritize is, instead of working directly on a interior grow room, I mean, that is important eventually, but honestly, what is more important here is just surviving the very first part of the game. So my interior space is going to actually be significantly smaller than it was in the first one, and this area here is going to be my manufacturing space. And the manufacturing space is going to be vacuumed out so that I don't have to deal with the high temperatures. So let's grab some walls. Now, our pressurized area in here is going to be completely walled in with no windows, so that we don't have to deal with solar radiation as much, which will keep it cooler, because the giant black hole does make things quite toasty here. Now, at night, the 126 degrees C air is tolerable, I hazard to say, but during the day, that is significantly less tolerable. So let's see, I need electrical supplies. I'm just going to swap this out now because the basic battery is not enough. And then we need some iron sheets. Hopefully we can survive a bit longer in this version. On this time. I'm not going to restart the series number, so this is still Season 2. But Season 2, Episode 3 is starting again. Let's hope this is the only time we have to completely start over. So, my deathless record is officially over. While it wasn't in the episode last time, I definitely died with no ability to make more things. You know, that was basically all that I could do. So this time, we are going to try our best to not die. And a lot of this is going to be not letting things catch on fire. already chewing through a lot of battery power, which is less than ideal. So we're going to need to get the portable generator set up sooner than later, I suspect. Now, I'm wondering if the portable generator is what ended up kind of ruining us there. Because I was thinking about it, and so during the day, oxygen in the atmosphere here is going to auto-ignite. It is hot enough during the day that oxygen will reach its auto-ignition temperature. So if we go and look at gases, oxygen, so the... let's see... I don't know if it says it's auto-ignition temperature. No, it doesn't, apparently. But we know that that will auto-ignite. So the portable generator, right? It takes a fuel canister to power cells or to power the power connector, but I think it's exhaust. I think it's exhaust. I don't know if it exhausts because it doesn't say directly. But I kind of suspect that its exhaust was causing a little bit of oxygen, because technically when you burn a fuel mixture, you're creating water, and if it's not perfectly balanced, there'll be some leftover oxygen in that. So I don't know if that's simulated here. But if it is, that could have been what was introducing oxygen to the atmosphere, which was allowing everything around it to burn. Because if we look, maybe not, because the auto-ignition temperature of our cables is 500, and during the day it gets above 500 Kelvin. And well above, okay, our temperature readout's not C, it's in... So how in the world are we supposed to do this? Is the heavy cable coil any better? No. So, like, does everything literally have to be shielded? I guess so. Let's take a look at our auto lathe. Yeah. So what about the solar panels and stuff like that, our wind turbines? How in the world are we supposed to do this if they're going to auto-ignite? $300C. Like, literally everything has to be inside, because it's becoming day again. We'll see that during the day this planet gets well above 300C. I don't think we have like a guide on the planet itself, but yeah, there's 300C, so that is the point when stuff will start to auto-ignite. Now, is auto-ignition only something that can happen when there's oxygen in the environment? Maybe. Maybe that's the case. Because, like, this stuff isn't breaking down just being here. So if I grab, like, iron walls. Yeah, that's the same temperature, and this isn't, like, burning. So I do think that if there is no oxygen in the area, we are relatively safe. So I think the best thing we can do is, if we are producing anything that is going to output oxygen, we need to be very careful with that. So this area, so that area is our interior pressurized space. This is going to be our interior depressurized space. So we can use some windows in here, because the, well, yeah, we probably shouldn't still. This is going to just be our starter base to keep us alive. So the things that produce oxygen, let's think about this, are assumedly the generator does, because that's kind of what bit us last time. And then I think perhaps the what's it called? Furnace also can produce some oxygen. We want our... So because of that, you need to be very careful. What am I looking for? So we have the basic areas set up. We are going to, first and foremost, I need my airlocks set up. Airlock supplies are over here. Are they over here? Where is the airlock supplies? Electrical supplies, construction supplies, trading, hydroponics, survival, advanced airlock supplies. Here we go. So we need passive vents, pipes. Oops. Give me that back. That away, put that away, put that away. Put that back in there. We're going to hold on to that. We need the doors. Consoles. Active vents. And just to make life simpler, we'll grab those two. Alright. Yeah, because it's really hot. These should be auto-igniting if there was an ignition permitting environment. But because there's not, I think that we're okay. Maybe. I didn't have the issues until I used the portable generator, so I'm going to assume the portable generator was the thing that caused the issues. Let's toss down our console. Gas sensor. And then we are going to grab our active Vents. Oh, that's the atmosphere. Wait, I don't want those. That's not gonna work. Whoops. You two need to go over here. And we need... This should honestly be just gas. Like, this should be completely empty of gas. So we are going to grab a passive vent on the inside. And then... Thumbing. On the outside to finish that. Doors. Do one of these take less power? Kind of being very particular about my power consumption. So these use 10 watts. These use 10 watts. No info about the glass doors. Interesting. Well, we're gonna go with our old reliable glass doors. Just because I like them, and that's what I'm used to. Alright, so we've got that. Do some wiring.
Waste tank caution.
We need to be very careful about where we empty our waste tank as well, I've learned. What we're holding when we empty our waste tank. Don't want to let it get full either, because that is how we almost die several times over. That should be everything wired in. Let's grab our wrench. Grab an oxygen tank. So I think one of the big differences that I'm going to do this time, pull this in here. Alright, let's go empty our waste tank. We have our inventory somewhat empty. Let's just kind of go all the way out of the way. It's going to spark. That's okay, because it's all the way over there. And we didn't melt anything. We want our container mount. We want to be able to also, like, re-vacuum this out. So I'm going to put this, like, right here. And grab the wrench, fasten it down. So if we leave it unpressurized for as long as possible, then there's this less chance of it, you know, becoming a problem. Active vent.
Power low.
this on here. And this one is going to go on here. That way we can save at least one resource. Alright. Let's get this finished off because we are going to run out of water very soon. I need my plastic sheets, glass sheets, and then we also need our that's the landing pad supplies. I should just leave the boxes open that I need. Advanced airlock. That should be everything to start. We'll need to wire it up to power. Luckily, it's almost dark again. Plastic sheets. Looking for my welding torch. I have just enough to finish this off. Bar. Force you open. Force you open. Push construction on you. Slap in that data disk. Now we need to grab the pipes. You get plumbed together. You guys get plumbed like this. We're going to, just in case, raise this up as high as we can. I know this is a little bit of a waste. We should have more resources shortly. We need our atmospheric supplies, pipe cowl. Now these, if I'm correct, these are a little bit more resistant to high temperature. Doesn't say, but yeah, these should be a little bit more resistant to high temperature. So if we can just kind of get the potential high temperatures a little bit further away, I think we'll be better off. Alright, so next priority is power. So we need our APCs. And our wind turbines. Those. And the portable power connector. And all that. Alright. So airlock APC will go right here. Everything else's APC will go over here. Cables. Go. I would need some more pipes. Whoops. That's actually fine for right now because we don't want to set up a bunch of. We can't go that way, so. All right. This is going to go up to where we're going to put our solar, and we'll figure that out here in a second. You are open. Those two open. How are we doing? We're doing okay for now. Let's grab those pipes. That's where the hopefully bad gases will get burnt off. So if we just for now stick these let's go on these. Oh, we can. Okay. Maybe I didn't need to build those. Solar panels. Let's actually angle grind down those two. Okay.
Hydration critical.
Now we're upset about hydration. Those there. Oops. Could provide us with the first little bit of power. And let's grab a battery. Let's grab the other battery. We wanted pipes as well. Clap that in there. That there. Turn you on. Turn you on. Everything's happy. Ish. Let's see now if we want the pipe installation as well. That's what I want. Wrench. Insulate those pipes. Okay. Insulate that pipe. Insulate those pipes. Alright, this is all set up correctly, I think. Let's see, if we close you, we also need to be able to, like, vacuum out this room. I forgot about that. What do we have in our atmospheric supplies? Valves and another pipe cal somewhere. That right there. Want to make sure we don't connect in, so that should be fine right there for now, because we don't want to vent all of our oxygen and burn everything up. So now's the dangerous bit, because I had this connected previously. Okay, luckily that does what I kind of hoped it would, which is not auto-ignite and burn everything to the ground. Alright, now let's finish setting this up. This is going to be glass door exterior, glass door interior, active vent, interior, active vent, exterior. Alright. Should be everything named, everything happy. Now if we configure you, active vent exterior, active vent interior, glass door exterior, glass door interior, sensor, external is going to be 0, internal is going to be, let's do 35. Alright, so we are inside right now, so if we turn you on, vacuum out, interior of our little room here. But hopefully, when we reach 0 kPa, we will have absolutely no temperature. Let's do that. We need to get to like 0 kPa. Or 0 PA, too. Luckily, because this is a small space, that shouldn't take terribly long. Yeah, so it's nil. Right now it is completely cold. We can actually use this as an opportunity to fill up my air tank. So there's no temperature, no pressure, which is great. That's what we wanted. We didn't bring our bloody... whatever. Let's grab our water bottles, because that's the one thing we actually need. So we brought some in with us. Nope. So if we cycle to exterior, that closes. Bunch of air rushes in, that's fine. Let's grab wherever we put our water bottles and our granola bars. Cycle to interior, depressurize, cancel pressurize, no pressure. Alright, now if we turn you off, we grab our wrench, undo those two. Now if we set outwards, dump a little bit of pure oxygen into this room. Ow. Oops. Yeah, it's the liquids connector. It's fine. Yeah, if we dump a little bit of pressure into this room, should be at a good temperature. Then we can go to our helmet, unlock it, open it, drink some water, eat some food, and not die. Okay. Not dying part 1 has been achieved. Now it's staying stable temperature-wise in here for now, but it probably will start to go up. I think it will. These are not perfect sealed, like, well, it's a perfectly sealed room, but it's not a perfectly, like, temperature insulated room. So theoretically, the temperature should start to rise with time. So to prevent that, what we're just going to do, because I think the cylinders do have much better temperature seals, is we're going to set that to inward, and then we're just going to vacuum the room back out. And once this is completely absent of pressure again, it should be perfectly safe in here. No oxygen, no chance of exploding ourselves, and also the temperature should stay much more insulated in here because it is completely vacuumed out. Is this going to be a necessarily efficient way to keep an internal space? Probably not. It's going to use a lot of power to do this each time we need to, but until we have a better cooling solution and such, this is probably more efficient than running an AC unit at maximum whack the whole time. All right, there we go. And we can turn you off. Cycle to exterior. Probably need some of that stuff, but it's okay. And we can continue working out here. So the goal of being out here now is to continue not dying by essentially just making this into also a giant pressure sealed box that we vacuum out so that it's completely empty of pressure, which will make it so that things can't burn. Because unless you have oxygen, you can't burn. Or an oxidizer of some variety. So out here is where we're going to set up our auto lathe. Now this shouldn't just magically start burning this time. So we do need one door at least to make this work, and I don't think we have another door anywhere. Survey says... Nope. No more doors. So we are going to need to finish off our auto lathe so that we can have that. Let me just make sure this isn't on. No. Okay. No annoying wobbly sounds this time. We need iron sheets for that. Then hopefully, because we have some more power generation, we don't need to use the portable generator as much, if at all, and that would be just kind of nice. Where is our... iron sheets? There they are. Welder. Oops. Welder. Cable coils. Plastic sheets. Screwdriver. Need our wire cutters. Let's actually just turn this stuff off, because we want to make sure that if we don't need this, we're just going to turn it off. So we want to be very efficient with our power, because I really don't actually want to use the portable generator until we have a better feeling for how to use it without blowing ourselves up. Alright, so that's the autolathe connected, but the autolathe doesn't do us much good without ingots. And to make ingots, well, we need the arc furnace, which is a bit of a risk to use because this does produce gas, which I guess could potentially auto-ignite. So we just need to be very careful about what we smelt and ensure that it isn't going to be something that's going to burst into flames. Go. And by keeping this inside of our room that we are keeping depressurized in the future, we will probably not explode. We are going to look for door first. This could just be the basic door version, which needs copper. And if we do door... Oh, we don't want interior doors. We just want door. Door. We need both copper and iron. I do see we have a mining belt on us, which comes with a... That's better. I didn't really want to use the non-electric, the pneumatic mining drill. I know it's probably better for some things, but rather not to start. Yeah, it was much faster. Oops, I forgot. I need to actually equip that. It was much faster. I will admit that. But, I did want to just use the electric version to start, and I didn't realize this was in my backpack. Alright. A little bit of iron. Alright, should be enough to get started. Now it gets dark when it's, well, dark. So now if we look, so iron ore, when it's smelted, it outputs carbon dioxide and pollutant. Neither of these should ignite, I think. I hope. We'll see. I guess this could be the end part 2. Let's get some iron going. It is nighttime, so it's also cool enough that it's not going to auto-ignite right now, but we do need to be careful that we don't do this during the day in case anything like this decides it wants to auto-ignite. And that's another strategy we can use, is if we do have gases we want to get rid of, we can bottle them until night, release them at night when it's cooler, because I don't think oxygen will auto-ignite at night. In fact, we can test this theory by going over here, putting away our tools, opening our waste tank. Yeah, see, at night, all safe. So if we do all of our smelting and all of our kind of risky things that might cause auto-ignition at night, well, no problem. Alright. Let's just split this, because I have a feeling that copper might be a little bit more risky. I don't think so, actually. Copper. Nitrogen, pollutants, and carbon dioxide. No. In reality, we probably want to be capturing these gases, filtering them, and storing them, is what we really should be doing. That's a later concern. And copper. You don't output anything when you're running, do you? I literally never checked this stuff when I was not on a planet that wanted to kill me all the time. Doesn't say it does. I don't think it does. I think it was the portable generator that ended up ruining us last time. Just gonna run some manual hatches for now. Sheets should have plenty of those still. Out of power. Boop. You can weld it shut. I didn't realize that was an option. Alright, now we need another active vent, which I don't think we can make in here. Yeah, so we need the hydraulic pipe bender. Luckily, we also came with one of those. Line right there. Be a little short on cable coils, but that should be alright. Stuff away. Goes in there. Turn that off. We do want to be careful of our usage of power if we can be. Good vent. Oh, we need gold. Crap. Whoops. Alright, so we'll need some gold. But I don't want to smelt gold during the day, because I believe gold is one that outputs oxygen, which will ignite and will ruin everything. And it's terrible. So you can go mine it, though. So I saw some right down here. There. This. Another strategy here might be to build underground. So you can see, like, just being out of the direct line of the sun, even though it's hot on the surface right now, it is less hot down here. Although the temperature's climbing pretty quickly down here, so that might not matter. I think it's just it will save us from some of the direct radiant effect. Might as well collect a little bit more. Should probably grab some silicon while we're down here too. I'll probably do the same thing I did last time, which is when once we get a little bit more established, I'll do my mining off camera. But for now, it'll be on camera. So, let's see, what else do I know? So switchgrass can be used to convert CO2 into oxygen at a fairly efficient rate. So our atmosphere here on Vulcan is mostly CO2, or mostly volatiles with some CO2 and pollutants. Now, this means that we don't have to worry about volatiles, and we don't have to worry about CO2, so we can pretty consistently make oxygen using switchgrass. But that does come at the cost of we don't have any food. I don't think switchgrass is a food plant. Doesn't say, but I believe it's not. So we will need to set up the trade platform pretty quickly to start getting our own source of food to be available to us. That's a pretty site. I do like this other starting location a lot better. That lava flow down there is really... It's a nice location. I do love the new terrain. It does look so much better. Like, it seems like such a small improvement. In reality, usually you say, oh, the graphics aren't the biggest thing in the games. But, like, I love playing Factorio, and, well, Factorio does have very pretty graphics as well, but, like, compared to some AAA games, like, fidelity isn't as important. But just the little improvements, like the height maps and just making it look more rocky and rough, and the improvement to the terrain density, it's really massive, and it's really noticeable. I'm really glad that RocketWorks took the time to do it. Well, while we're doing this, we might as well not waste the time, because every second we're out in the outside, we are slowly dying. So let's box in our area here. Have to make a couple lights here pretty quickly, just for filming's sake. Extract our materials. So these aren't getting damaged, so that does mean that I think my theory was correct. The use of the generator in a area with introduced just enough oxygen into the environment that the stuff started burning. We want some iron sheets. No, give those back. Now we are also going to want a furnace pretty quickly, because I believe it is hot enough here. We don't want it that quickly, though. It is literally hot enough during the day to smelt iron just in the furnace and make steel. Well, steel maybe not. So if we look, it's 652 C during the day. So if we go to our ingot recipes, like iron, yeah, during the day, it's just hot enough to make iron. So if we equalize our furnace with the outside temperature, we can just make infinite iron. But for steel, yeah, it's pretty close. We might have to kickstart it just a little bit, but we'll be able to make steel. Terraforming manufacturing. I've never seen this. Is this a new thing? It doesn't go anywhere. I suspect that is a new... Yeah, I don't... I'll have to look into that. It'd be neat if we could terraform Vulcan. Turn it into a habitable planet. Alright. I mean, in theory, we don't need the active vent, technically. We can just vacuum this out. This will test our theory, at least, of whether or not we can run our dangerous appliances, such as this, during the day Probably should have left a window so we can actually see whether it's day or night. Although there's some light leakage. Theory, if we just do this, like some gas will obviously enter, but why is that? Just find a way. Oh, it's pushing gas out of here. I was like, what in the world? I don't like that it's falling, because if we do output some oxygen, that's going to... Yeah, we are going to want to set up an atmospherics module to filter out and store oxygen pretty quickly. But I'm hoping this won't create enough oxygen to make a problem. Let's see. It's going to be daylight for a minute. So that does introduce a little bit of pressure into the area. That's okay. Can wait a second for it to get pumped out. Then the other advantage of having this room be vacuumed out is it would be much less stressful on our life support systems because they won't have to cool our environment down so much. Because that's part of what's stressing the life support battery so much, which is why our power is failing so quickly, is that because it's so hot outside, our suit is working overtime to cool us. Whereas now that we're in a enclosed, sealed space with no external temperature, it's just doing a little bit to keep us warm, and that is apparently more efficient. Which makes sense, cooling from
Power low.
600 C is not easy. Since we're all charged up, might as well just use some of the extra power to continue charging. Turn you off as well. Come on, little active vent. Try your best. Let's toss some iron in there. I wonder how much gas this actually off-gasses. I think we should test that as well. So if we wait till this is fully depressurized. Take a minute. It's okay. No pressure. We turn you off. Turn you on. Oops. Start smelting. That actually puts out a decent amount of gas. At a surprisingly low temperature? You'd think with having come out of a furnace, it'd be hotter, but maybe I'm wrong in that. It's at 0°C. That's a smidge surprising. I guess maybe because it's expanding into the room so much that it's 0°C, technically. That seems... I don't know, that seems a little wonky. I don't know how I feel about that. None of this is combustible gas, so we should still be fine. I mean, in theory, we could smelt the gold right now. We just want to be careful to not purge it out to the outside if we are going to introduce oxygen to the environment, so we're pretty confident it's nighttime. It's cold in here, it's below the auto ignition temperature. As long as we don't get a high enough oxygen ratio as well to create combustion, that should be fine. I don't think most of our devices are inherently safe, so that means that, like, unless we create a spark, there's not going to be a fire. Should probably grab the fire extinguisher anyway. Whoops. Let's see what silicon creates. Gluten, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Alright, you should be fine to smelt. Use the daylight power from our solar panels while we have it. It's looking like it's becoming nighttime. Gotta sneak our head through the wall. Maybe not. They can't read outside. Look outside, though. Not well enough. I guess as long as there's no volatiles in here, it should be okay. So let's just give it a try. We are introducing some O2 into the atmosphere. Relatively minimal amount of that. Nothing's caught fire yet. And I forgot how long gold took to smelt. So yeah, I think it was the portable generator that ended up sinking our ship last time. It added just enough oxygen into the environment to allow for combustion around it. Just a little bit more. I'm fairly confident it's nighttime out, so we should be able to vacuum out the room again and purge everything outside. Last piece, come on. Want to be able to make my vent. Active vent. Stick you in here. Fire that up soon. Probably next time. But yeah, thank you all for watching. We didn't die this time, and we got a little bit more done. So this will be our little home for manufacturing. And next time we will probably put a window in, because I'd like to be able to see what time it is outside. And move the rest of our stuff in here, make this a little bit more homey, work on the rest of our manufacturing setup, show electroprint, maybe a tool printer as well, we'll have to see, and maybe work on some more power stability so we don't have to rely on, you know, potentially setting up a generator. But, yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and we've gotten started again. So, I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.